Hello everyone. Now let us see this 18th problem. When a solid ball of mass 400 gram at 20 degrees Celsius is dropped in equal amount of water at 80 degrees Celsius, the resultant temperature is 60. What is the specific heat of solid? So we want specific heat of solid. So here the heat when a solid ball of 400 gram at 20 degrees Celsius is dropped in. Okay, so solid, it has mass 400 gram and temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Now when it is dropped in water, then what will happen? The heat will transfer from water to solid. So the amount of heat given by water to solid will be equal to amount of heat absorbed by the solid. So here we can say that mass of solid into specific heat of solid into change in temperature. Now change in temperature is what? Resulting temperature is 60. So 60 minus 20. This is equals to, so this is equals to mass of water into specific heat of water into drop in temperature, that is 80 minus 60. So therefore mass of solid is 400 into what is the specific heat of solid, that is SS, we don't know. 60 minus 20, it is 40, and here it is mass of water, equal amount of water. Equal amount of water means this is also 400 into specific heat of water. Actually you see answers are in specific heat of water, so we will not put its value even though we know 80 minus 60 is 20. Okay, so this 400 and 400 we cancel, and this 20 to the, so this will give us SS is equals to SW divided by 2. So first option is your correct answer. Now 19th problem. 19th problem is a molar specific heat. The molar specific heat at a constant pressure of an ideal gas is 7 by 2 R. Molar specific heat at a constant pressure means CV. We denote this by CV. So let us say that CV at constant pressure, sorry, it is CP. CP is equals to 7 by 2 R. What is the ratio of specific heat at constant pressure to at constant volume? So Cp upon Cv we need to find out. This is Cp. Cp upon Cv, this is question mark. From ideal gas relation we have Cp minus Cv is equals to R. So this implies that 7 divided by 2 R minus Cv is equals to R. And from this we get the value of Cv is equals to 7 by 2 R minus R, that is 5 divided by 2 R. So therefore Cp upon Cv, so therefore we have Cp upon Cv. Cp is 7 divided by 2 R and Cv is 5 divided by 2 R. So this 7 R and R will cancel, this 2 cancel, and it is 7 upon 5. So Cp upon Cv is 7 upon 5. So in 20th problem, 1 gram of steam at 100 degrees Celsius is added to n gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius. What is the mass of ice that will melt and reaches to a temperature of steam at 100 degrees Celsius? So here we have m gram of ice. M gram of ice, it is at 0 degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius. Now we supply it heat and it will first convert in m gram of water at 0 degrees Celsius, and then we supply heat and it will convert m gram of water at 100 degrees Celsius, right? So in two phases, in two, we can say that in two steps we will find the amount of heat which we have to supply. So for m gram, to convert it in water, latent heat of ice is given 80, so this is ATM. Here it is ATM. And the amount of heat required to raise temperature by 100 degrees Celsius will be equal to 100 m, because we know that specific heat of water is 1 calorie per gram. Okay, so this is the total amount. The total amount of heat is 180 m. Here we have 1 gram of steam. So 1 gram of steam. Now, as we have used this 1 gram of steam, so this 1 gram of steam will also convert in 1 gram of water at 100 degrees Celsius. So how much heat it will give? It will give heat about 540. For 1 gram it is 540 calories, so this is 540 calorie. So from the given information we can say that this 540 calorie is equals to 180 m, and from here we get the value of m is equals to 540 upon 180. So this 0 will cancel and 18 3 da. So this is 3 gram. So therefore m is 3 gram. Now let us see question number 21. If Cp and Cv denote the specific heat of nitrogen per unit mass at constant pressure and constant volume, then Cp minus Cv. So we know that Cp by ideal gas relation, Cp minus Cv is equals to R. So this first option is correct one. Now this question number 22. A lead bullet moving with a velocity v strike a wall and stops. If 50% of its energy is converted into heat, then what will be the increase in temperature? So the energy of a bullet, it is half mv square kinetic energy. Now 50% of this energy is converted into heat. So the energy is half mv square. 50% of it, if we consider, it is mv square divided by 4. What will be the increase in temperature? We have to find increase in temperature. So we know that energy is equals to m into s into delta T. So here the energy is mv square upon 4. So mv square upon 4, this delta T we calculate, delta T will be q upon ms. The value of q will be mv square upon 4 and we will divide by ms. So mm will cancel and we get v square upon 4s. So v square upon 4s, s is your specific heat. So v square upon 4s. Now v square upon 4s is not given. V square upon 4js is given. So if you wanted to convert in calorie, then you will divide by j. So you can say that v square upon 4js is your answer, right? So this is the required temperature. Required temperature, change in temperature, we can say that increase in temperature is v square upon 4js. Okay. Now question number 23. 10 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius is added to a vessel containing water at 40 degrees Celsius. Assuming that negligible heat is taken from the surrounding, what will be the temperature of water in the vessel if the water equivalent of the vessel and its content is 50 gram? Now water equivalent of vessel and its content is 50 gram. So we can consider the total water is of 50 gram. 10 gram of ice. Now we are putting in a water of 50 gram. We can say like that. So initial temperature was 40. Now 10 gram ice, when you put in that container, what will happen? The energy will supply to the ice. So decrease in temperature of or decrease in energy of water will be equal to gain in energy by the ice. So let us consider that the final temperature was T. So heat lost by water and container will be equal to heat gained by the ice. So mass of water into specific heat of water into 40 degree minus T. Okay, because initially water is at 40 degree and it is losing its heat, so it is 40 minus T is equals to mass of ice into latent heat, because first it will melt and then its temperature will start rising. So we consider that it rises to T degrees Celsius. So it is 10 into 80 plus 10 into T. Okay, after solving this equation, what we get? We get value of T is equals to 20 degrees Celsius. So the final temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. So here option B is correct. So simple, heat lost by water and container will be equal to heat gained by the ice. This is a simple equation which we will use. Now question number 24 is, what is the mass of steam required to melt 16 gram of ice at minus 10 degrees Celsius? A specific heat of ice is given 0.5 and a specific heat of water is given 1. We have to find the mass of steam required to melt 16 gram of ice. So let us consider that m gram of steam is required to melt 16 gram of ice at minus 10 degrees Celsius. Now we have to just melt it. That melt it means this water, this ice of 16 gram, it will first convert in water at 0 degree and then it will convert, that's it. From minus 10 degree it will come to 0 degree in solid form, and then from that 0 degree it will come in water form. So here heat lost by steam will be equal to heat gained by ice. So mass of steam into specific latent heat of steam plus mass of steam into specific heat of water multiplied by 100. Why 100? See, temperature, it's a temperature, first steam will convert to water at 100 degrees Celsius, and then that water at 100 degrees Celsius it will convert in water at 0 degrees Celsius, because that steam we are using to convert this ice into water at 0 degrees Celsius. So my final temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, right? So here ms we can take common, ls is 540 and specific heat of water is 1. So we will write 540 plus 100. This will be equal to heat gained by the ice. So heat gained by the ice is 16 gram of ice. So that is 16 into specific heat of ice. So specific heat of ice is 0.5, it is mentioned, into 10. Why 10? Because initially it was at minus 10 degrees Celsius. So to raise up to 0 degrees Celsius, we use this difference in temperature 10. Plus now from 0 degree it is converting in ice. So, sorry, from 0 degree of ice it is converting in water. So it is 16 into latent heat of ice. Okay, latent heat of ice we can say, yes, fine. So 16 into this is 0.5 into 10 plus 16 into this latent heat of ice is 80. And here we have mass of steam, that is unknown quantity. So calculation, we do calculation and finally we get 17 upon 8 gram. So 17 upon 8 gram is your correct answer. This is your 24th question. Now let us see 25th question. 2 liter of water at 27 degrees Celsius. Okay. So 2 liter of water at 27 degrees Celsius is heated by 1 kilowatt heater in an open container. Heat is lost to the surrounding at a rate of 160 joule per second. What is the time required for the heater to heat the water from 27 degrees Celsius to 77 degrees Celsius if the specific heat of water is 4.2 kilojoule per kg Kelvin? So this is a practical example. You use your heater to heat your water, and when you start heating, you know that as the bucket is open, some heat is going to the surrounding also. So in how much time the heater will start supplying water, okay, which is 77 degrees Celsius. So we have to heat the water from 27 degrees Celsius to 77 degrees Celsius, means final temperature of water we want 77 degrees Celsius. So here heat supplied by the heater in time t will be equal to heat gained by the water plus heat lost in the surrounding. Okay, so mass of water is given 2 kg, temperature of water is given 27, specific heat of water it is 4.2 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. We consider that time required is t second. Now power is given 1 kilowatt and heat lost to surrounding is 160 joule per second. 160 joule means 0.16 kilojoule. Why we are converting in kilojoule? Here specific heat is given in kilojoule, mass is given in kg, mass is given 2 liter, actually 1 kg per liter, that means 2 liter will give you 2 kg of water. Okay, so heat supplied by the heater is heat gained by water plus heat lost by the surrounding. Heat lost in the surrounding we will say. So heat supplied by heater is what? It is power into time. Okay, energy we know, power is what? Power is work upon time. Work is nothing but it is energy. So power is energy upon time. So energy is what? Power into time. So power into time will give you heat supplied by the heater. Okay, and this is equals to heat gained by water. So mass of water into specific heat of water and change in temperature plus heat lost in surrounding is 0.16 kilojoule per second. So in time t the heat lost will be 0.16 into t. Okay, so time t is unknown. This time t is unknown, rest all we know. So let us put all the values which we know. After putting the values, simplify and get the value of t. So after simplification, your time t is 500 second. You got time t as 500 second. Okay, now question number 26. A 2 kg of ice at minus 20 degrees Celsius is mixed with 5 kg of water at 20 degrees Celsius in an insulating vessel having a negligible heat capacity. What is the final mass of water remaining in the container? So now ice was at minus 20 degrees Celsius. So what will happen? First that ice will melt. First ice will come to 0 degrees Celsius, then it will melt. So to bring it at 0 degrees Celsius and to melt it, what we require? We require heat. From where we are getting heat? So we are getting heat from a water which is at 20 degrees Celsius. Suppose if the amount of heat supplied by water is not sufficient to melt this ice to 0 degrees Celsius, then there will be some portion of ice and there will be some portion of water. So as here it is asked to find the final mass of water. Okay, if all the ice is converted in water, then the mass of water will be 5 plus 2 is equals to 7 kg. But it is not necessary that all the ice will convert to water. So let us see how we do. First we take 2 kg of ice at minus 20. We supply it heat. It will convert in ice at 0 degrees Celsius. How much amount of heat we will supply? So for ice specific heat is 0.5 calorie per gram. So for 2 kg it is 2000 into 0.5 and the temperature we have to raise by 20 degree. So it is into 20. Calculation will give me 20 Kelvin or 20 kilocalorie. Okay, 20 kilocalorie CAL, it is kilocalorie, right? 20 kilocalorie is the amount of heat we get here. Now if let us consider that this 2 kg ice is converted in 0 degree water. So to convert in 0 degree water, again 160 kilocalorie amount of energy we will supply. So total amount of energy is what? 180 kilocalorie. So that means 180 kilocalorie amount of energy we require to convert this 2 kg ice into 0 degree water. Let us bring this 5 kg water at 0 degree. Okay, let us bring this water also at 0 degree and let us see that how much energy it will supply. So when 5 kg water at 20 degrees Celsius it is bring to 0 degrees Celsius, the amount of energy supplied is equals to 100 kilocalorie. So 100 kilocalorie. So we require 160 kilocalorie, 180 kilocalorie, sorry, we require 180 kilocalorie. Okay, but we are getting only 100 kilocalorie. So that is, there is a difference of 80 kilocalorie. 80 kilocalorie energy we are not getting. So because of this 80 kilocalorie, what will happen? This water which we considered that it is converted at 0, it will again move in ice form. So to convert the ice into water at 0 degree, we supply 180 kilocalorie, and to convert 5 kg water at 0, we extracted 100 kilocalorie energy. So here there is a difference of 80 kilocalorie which we not get. So the water at 0 degree Celsius convert in ice. Okay, so mass of water, then in that case we know that energy Q is equals to m into specific heat of water. So Q, energy Q, we can say that energy Q is equals to m into L. So therefore m is what? M is Q upon L. So Q is 80 kilocalorie and L is, the value of L is also latent heat. Latent heat is 80 calorie per gram, that is 80 kilocalorie per kilogram. So we will divide by 80 and we will get 1 kg. So this 1 kg is the mass of ice. So 2 kg ice and 5 kg water. Finally what we are getting? We are getting 1 kg ice. So 1 kg ice, then 6 kg will be water. So here our answer will be 6 kg water. Okay. Now question number 27. A piece of ice. A piece of ice, heat capacity is given 2100 joule per kg per degree Celsius. And latent heat is given 3.36 into 10 power 5 joule per kg. So a piece of ice of mass m gram is at minus 5 degrees Celsius. So again here ice is at minus 5 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. It is given 420 joule of heat so that the ice starts melting. Finally, when the ice water mixture is in equilibrium, it is found that 1 gram of ice has melted. Assume that there is no other heat exchange in the process. What is the value of m? So we have supplied 420 joule of heat. Now with the help of this 420 joule of heat, suppose there was m gram of ice. So what will happen? First, this m gram of ice, it will come to 0 degree Celsius in the solid form, and then from that 0 degree Celsius in solid form it will start melting, and we know that only 1 gram melt. Okay, so this 420 joule energy was utilized. Okay, so let us take m kg. We can take m gram also, but here if you see latent heat is given in terms of kg, heat capacity is given in terms of kg, so better we assume mass in kg. So mass, m kg mass at minus 5 degrees Celsius, if it convert in ice at 0 degrees Celsius, the amount of heat, okay, which is required is m into 2100 into 5. So that is 10500 m is the amount of heat. And to convert 1 gram of ice into 1 gram of water, so 1 gram is nothing but 10 power minus 3 kg. So we are writing this in terms of kg into 3.36 into 10 power 5, that gives 336 joule. So this 336 joule plus this 10500 m joule, their total will be equal to 420 joule. So their total is 420 joule. So from this, if we calculate, we get the value of m as 8 into 10 power minus 3 kg, that is equal to 8 gram. So 8 gram is the quantity of ice that is required. Okay, yes, simple. Now question number 28. So are you getting what practically we are doing? Okay, the simple concept, the amount of heat gained is equals to amount of heat supplied. Okay, they are in equilibrium. At the equilibrium, the amount of heat exchange, or simply we can say that there is zero net heat exchange. Okay, because heat gained is equals to heat supplied, right? Simple concept. Now steam at 100 degrees Celsius is passed into 20 gram of water at 10 degrees Celsius. When water acquire a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, the mass of water present will be, okay, again steam at 100 degrees Celsius is passed into 20 gram of water at 10 degrees Celsius. So how much steam we will supply? We don't know. Let us consider m gram of steam we have supplied, and with the help of this m gram of steam, what happened? 20 gram of water at 10 degrees Celsius, its temperature raised to 80 degrees Celsius. So equilibrium is at 80 degrees Celsius. So here m gram of steam, it will first convert at 100 degrees Celsius of water. For that it will release 540 m calorie. 540 is latent heat of steam and m is mass of the steam. So 540 m calorie energy steam will give, and it will come to 100 degrees Celsius water. Now my equilibrium temperature is 80. So again from 100 to 80 degrees Celsius, how much energy it will spend? So it is m into specific heat of water is 1. So m into 1 into 20. There is a change of temperature of 20. So 20 m calorie. So total heat which is supplied by the steam is 540 m plus 20 m, that is 560 m. Now 20 gram of water it raised to 80 degrees Celsius. So the amount of energy it will gain to increase its temperature to 80 degrees Celsius, there is a difference of 70 degree. So 70 multiplied by 20 gram, so 70 into 20, that will give you 1400 calorie. So as per the question, this 560 m calorie will be equal to 1400 calorie. 560 m calorie is 1400, therefore m is equals to 1400 divided by 560, and this will give me 2.5 gram. So steam required is 2.5 gram. Now this steam, it will also finally convert in water. So 2.5 gram plus this original water of 20 gram, they will give me 22.5 gram. So my final mass is 22.5 gram. Okay, so final mass is 22.5 gram. Now question number 29. A copper rod of length L, cross section area A, and thermal conductivity K joins two reservoir kept at 90 degree and 30 degree. If the length of copper rod is made half and its area of cross section is doubled, then the thermal conductivity of the rod will be. So thermal conductivity of rod, it is a property of material. Okay, so here as we are not changing the material, so thermal conductivity will remain same. So the value of K will remain K only. So answer is K. Now question number 30. The amount of heat conducted per minute through a window when inside and outside temperature are at 10 and minus 10 respectively is 2000 calories. When the outside temperature become minus 23 degrees Celsius, then the same amount of heat will be conducted per minute if the inside temperature is. So inside temperature we don't know. Now quantity of heat supplied per minute is same in both the cases. So quantity of heat supplied is what? Q upon T, and the formula for Q upon T is K into A into T2 minus T1 upon X. Now here in this case the value of K is constant, A is constant, X is constant. So what I will say, also this Q upon T is also constant. So then in that case what we get, that the difference, like if we equate, okay, if we equate what we will get, T minus of minus 23, T minus of minus 23. In the first case we can say that Q upon T is equals to K into A into T2 minus T1, that is 10 minus minus 10 upon X, and it is same as K into A into, now T2 we don't know, T2 we consider as T only, minus the other side temperature is minus 23. So T minus of minus 23, this is going to be equal to 10 minus of minus 10. Now simplify it, you get T is equals to minus 3 degrees Celsius. So let us convert in Kelvin, we get 270 Kelvin. Now two rods of the same material have their diameter in the ratio of 1 to and a length in the ratio of 2 1. The temperature difference between their end is same. What is the ratio of the heat conducted by them in a given time? So the ratio of heat conducted, that is Q1 ratio Q2, we have to find out. D1 ratio D2 is given 1 by 2. So from this, if we find A1 ratio A2, we will get 1 by 4. And the length is given in ratio 2 ratio 1. So X1 ratio X2 is 2 ratio 1. So Q1 upon Q2. Q1 upon Q2 we have to find out. So let us write the formula for Q1. As they are made up of the same material, the value of K remain same. So K into A1 into TH minus TC. Okay. Now the temperature difference is also given same. Two rods of the same material have their dimensions. Dimensions are in ratio, diameters are in ratio 1 to. Temperature difference between their ends are same, means TH minus TC for both the metals is same. So this TH minus TC I will consider same at both the places. Now KK cancel, and here what you get, this ratio, this TH minus TC will also cancel. So KK cancel, this cancel. So here we have X2 into A1, X2 into A1 upon X1 into A2. Now X2 upon X1, X2 upon X1 you will get here 1 upon 2, and A1 upon A2 is 1 upon 4. So 1 upon 2 into 1 upon 4, this will give me answer as 1 upon 8. So Q1 ratio Q2 is 1 upon 8. This is 31st question. Now question number 32. The end P of a rod PQ of length 1 meter is maintained at 100 degrees Celsius and the end Q at 30 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature a distance of 70 centimeter from the end P? Okay, so PQ is a rod of 1 meter and at one end temperature is 100. At P we have temperature of 100. So if I draw here P and here Q, here temperature is 100 and here temperature is 30 and the length is 100 centimeter. Okay, so this is, we can find out the temperature gradient, and there is drop of temperature. Okay, drop of temperature per unit length will be constant, right? Now so it is asked that what is the temperature at a distance of 70 centimeter. So for a distance of 100 centimeter, temperature drop is 70 degree. So for a distance, or we can say that temperature drop for 70 centimeter. So for 100 centimeter, if there is a drop of 70, then for 70 centimeter the drop will be 70 upon 100 multiplied by 70, that gives me 49 degrees Celsius. So there is a drop of 49 degrees Celsius. So from 100, if we decrease 49, we will get 51. So the temperature at a distance of 70 centimeter will be 51 degrees Celsius. Now there are two identical vessels A and B made up of different metal filled with equal amount of ice. Okay, so here we have two identical vessels and they are filled with equal amount of ice. The ice in vessel A and B melt in 30 and 50 minutes respectively. What is the ratio of coefficient of thermal conductivity? So why they took different time? Because this metal, it has different thermal conductivity. It is allowing heat to exchange at different rate. So the value of K is different for these two materials. Rest all things are same. So as they are melting, we can say that QA and QB are same. The formula for QA is K1 into A into theta 1 minus theta 2 into T1 upon L. Now you can see that area I have considered same because they are equal in volume. Now temperature difference is going to same because it is melting from 0 to water, okay, at 0. Length is going to remain same. Okay, so time, now they are taking different time. So here we have time T1 and K1, rest all is same. Here we have coefficient of thermal conductivity K2 and time T2. So we can cancel equal terms, equal variables from both the sides. So we will get K1 T1 equal to K2 T2. That will give me K1 upon K2 is equals to T2 upon T1. So the value of T2 is 50 and the value of T1 is 30. So 50 upon 30, that gives me 5 upon 3. So here the value is 5 upon 3. The ratio is 5 upon 3. Now question number 34. 3 rods made up of the same cross section and same length are joined as shown in the figure. So you can see one rod is AC, one rod is BC and one rod is CD. So 3 rods made of the same cross section and same length are joined as shown in the figure. The left and right end are kept at 0. So here you can see the temperature is at 0. Here the temperature is at 90. What is the temperature of the junction? Okay, so temperature of the junction. So let us consider that temperature of the junction is Tc. So at equilibrium condition, what will happen? The amount of heat supplied by AB, okay, the amount of heat supplied from AB to C will be same as the heat supplied from C to D. Okay, at equilibrium this is right. So amount of heat received from A and B is equal to heat transferred to D. So how much heat is supplied from A and B? Both A and B are at the same temperature, they have same length, they are same material. So we can say that 2 times K into A into 90 minus Tc upon L. This is the amount of heat supplied by this A and B. And the amount of heat supplied by this junction C to D is K into A into Tc minus 0 upon L. Okay, so this Ka upon L we will cancel, and finally we simplify, and after simplification the value of Tc we get as 60 degree Celsius. So the temperature of the junction is 60 degrees Celsius. Now question number 35. A copper rod and a steel rod. So a copper rod and a steel rod having the same area of cross section are joined end to end. The free end of the copper is at 100 degrees Celsius and the free end of the steel at 0 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature at their junction? When K of copper is given 9 times K of steel and length of copper is given 3 times length of steel. So according to given condition, here we have drawn the diagram. Again here we have to find Tc. So again we will apply the same formula, that is at equilibrium the heat gained or heat received from A to C is equals to amount of heat transferred from C to B. So heat received from A to C is what? Kc into A into 100 minus Tc upon Lc. So this is the formula. We apply the formula, we simplify it, and we get the value of Tc as 75 degrees Celsius. So 75 degrees Celsius, here is the answer. Right. Okay. So let us stop here, and there are few more questions in this worksheet that we will see in next lectures. Thank you.